What's good, everyone? It's your boy Sifu G, the Esoteric Warrior. Hope everyone's doing good today. All right, so this is a question and answer for Salt of Earth. Thanks for the question, and that's on when should someone have sex after Qigong or Heigong. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we start, everyone, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share my work. It's also pretty cool that you brought up the Tai Chi ruler and that you learned from Sifu Richard Mooney. It's funny you say that because I have his book right here from 2001. On Ling Kong Jing, The Empty Force, and signed in 2001. So yeah, I remember him back in the day. I supported him and bought his book and wanted to find out what the empty force he was doing and stuff like that. And I knew that he also did the ruler. Sifu Terence Dunn also did a Tai Chi ruler book. In 1992, when I was in Hong Kong, I also bought the ruler book, and this is pretty in-depth. It also has different Qigong, and very similar to the One Yun ball training I learnt from Sifu Connie and the Loha Buffet water boxing. So yeah, how's that for synchronicity and pushing hands, all part of the Tai Chi ruler. This teacher must be pretty big in Hong Kong, I think. It's got all different stuff, what it does. But how's that for synchronicity? Tai Chi ruler and the Ling Kong Jing from Sifu Richard Mooney. I hope he's still around. I hope he's okay. If he's still in contact, wish him all the best from Oz. Probably doesn't remember me, but it's all good. So the question was when you should release semen, right, or ejaculation, sex, or anything like that leading to a more spiritual vibration. Some styles suggest to be celibate for 100 days. If you're going to be having sex after doing your Qigong anyway, I would leave it for a few hours at least, over 3 hours. When I was doing Yokumen, Sifu would know if I've had sex before class because we do horse dance and the legs, there was no power. And you'd look at me and hums up low. I mean, like a male prostitute, like a horny bastard. But then again, I know one teacher's got 2 wives anyway, so Kung Fu can, like for me, Kung Fu and Qigong, my libido, it gets really high. So you doing the spiritual work and wanting that, you have to sustain from sex. And if you're married, good luck with that. Living in today's society, we got to also look at good eating. So you should be building up before you start and do it correctly if you're going to be cultivating chi, not just for the physical but for a spiritual. I don't know what you mean by spiritual, as enlightenment or awakening. I've had many awakenings and I've had plenty of sex. but what is that awakening to me may not be an awakening to you. I don't know one person that has been enlightened since my lifetime that I know, but I believe that we achieve knowledge through the higher vibration. Sometimes pain and suffering can trigger many different things. I know I'm getting off track there, but if you're gonna be going to a more spiritual training, that's why half these sages and monks, they piss off to the mountains, right? And they go in the forest or in caves, and they want to get left alone, because that's the only way you're gonna truly advance in. If you're looking at like an enlightenment state, I'm not sure. I follow the Taoist Lao Tzu, right? So the later Bakwa in my training, especially because of the Iron Snake. So we work with the sun and the moon as well. So the food we eat, what we breathe, the quality of the breath that we're breathing in, not just the air, but the connection. And all day I'm doing Heigong. I'm always conscious of deep breathing and absorbing the breath or the air or the chi within that. So you can lose chi just by stress. Like, I've been under a lot of stress, so I'm very tired, no matter what I eat, but I've got a lot going on right now, so I just don't want to get burnt out or just go backwards, right? So depending on your lifestyle as well, right? Like I said, sex is the downfall, because we all know that semen is part of Jing, right? So we've got the three treasures, the Jing Hei Sun. Taoists are working on that mostly as the alchemical process, transferring from the Jing Qi to the spirit, right? Advancement upwards, not downwards. And the first part is Jing, and that's your testes and your semen, your kidneys, and the proper food diet. That if you're going to be starting really spiritual work, you got to be clean, right? That means in thoughts, emotions, like I said, because that would drain your chi, not just sex. That's where I was going with it, right? So it's a tricky question, and every different culture has a way or belief on how long. For me, 9 days before, if you're going to be working with the sun and moon, I do 9 days, right? Like the Lo Shu, the 3x3 magic square. 9 days before, then I got the waxing, the full moon, and the waning. And then 9 days after, to let all the chi be used to heal the body, right? And to settle and store, or whatever it does inside the body. If you're just going to do a big heavy qigong workout and go home and have a wank, or hey, come over here, love, you've just wasted any surplus of chi. So ancient societies like the Vril Society, they were big on that. You got Tantra as well in India, and in Taoism, the white tiger for women, green dragon for the men, like the dragon bone, hanging the weights off the balls and shit like that. Women use a jade egg and swing weights and do all sorts of practices. That builds up the sexual energy, right? So sexual energy is so potent, right? The energy from sex is potent. And that's why there's sex magic, and with that comes blood, right? Menstruation and stuff like that. So it's so many different rabbit holes the Rosicrucians have their way of sexual practices as well. It's in every culture, every different ancient manuscript that I've read, all lead very similar to raising the chi up to the pineal gland. But I specifically work with the sun and the moon. I refrain from sex or masturbation, whatever. 9 days before and 9 days after the moon's gone, right? So, and then I work with the sun as well to gather the yang qi. So raising the vibration spiritually doesn't always have to be sexual, but sexual energy is so potent it can raise the vibration, but you're not supposed to let anything leak out. So like Tantra, right, they'll use the positions and certain breathing patterns, but they won't come. For the man, they're not supposed to come, so they have to withdraw. And that's hard to do, right? You know, you just want to bust that nut once you go past the vinegar stroke. You know what I mean? So sex is a hard thing to give up for anyone once they've had a taste of it, right? But I'd wait 3 hours after a class or something just to let any of the chi that you've just accumulated to help restore any vital health that you must need from it. Otherwise it's pointless. Just, you know, I breathe all day properly and deeply, and I'm conscious of it. But if you're unconscious of it and you just breathe as a natural mechanism, that's different. I was also told, there's a Chinese saying, 1 drop of cum equals 10 drops of blood. So if you've shot a massive load, fellas, you've lost a lot of blood, right? That's why your legs shake. That's why your legs go in men, you know, when they had sex and they're like that, their legs go. You've just dropped a lot of blood. All right, so I hope that helps. Thank you so much for the question. I hope I answered it. I work off the Lo Shu, the magic square. All right, so I hope whatever you're doing brings you to wherever you need to be. That's and please share whatever you attain. That's the whole thing, and it's all mental as well, right? Emotions, what you eat, what you drink, sex. Then you got TV and people in your ear, and dealing with life itself is draining, right? So like I said, the path of the Tao is all about survival. So building your Jing by proper practice, training, deep breathing, strength work, that builds the physical body, right? The heart is where you need to release. The screen just went off. It does that, goes to sleep. And we're trying to raise that vibration. And the sun and the moon, when your star sign, at the full moon is in your star sign, is where you should be really doing your qigong and to move that vibration up. And you look all that up online. I don't know why I get this thumbs up all the time. It must be built in. It's annoying. But, yeah, man. Richard Mooney, that's a blast from the past. I hope he's well. All right, so Salt of Earth, 3 hours, I would say. If you can last 3 hours after a class just to have sex, up to you. Otherwise, you just wasted a whole lot of qi gong, right? Because you want to let that, any qi in the One Yin poetry even, it says any surplus of energy, let it settle at the Dantian. So you could get a lot of qi work in, and then if you're not focusing on relaxing and letting it settle to the dantian, and you've gone home and just banged, and just shot a load, then, nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, spiritual advancement and sex, yeah, that's a hard one. That's why most of those people are monks, right? And they're trained at an early age, because unless you've had enough of women and you just don't want to be part of any of that in society, it can be done. But enlightenment is tricky, because what people think of enlightenment, who knows, right? Like I said, I've never met anyone that's truly enlightened. Knowledgeable, absolutely, I don't consider Dalai Lama like an enlightened being or anything like that. They're all still human to me, and I bet you they go through the same mental crap we do each day. They're just living a better life in a temple and getting fed for free. I could deal with that too. Sit, meditate, get to eat for free. All right. So anyway, mate, all the best, and I hope that helps. Continue on the path, brother. Cheers.